Greetings. Welcome to Growth Hacking Show, where we actually bring speakers, business owners, CEOs who have worked hard, serial entrepreneurs worked hard, produce results for themselves, and many of them actually produce results for themselves. Now they're teaching others to do the same thing so that way we all live in a better place. Here are the two things you're going to learn from this show. First, number one is missteps to avoid so that way they have already done the mistake so you don't have to do it. And plus we are trying to grab, let's see how much we are successful together, grab their success secrets so we can model the success for them. In case you don't know me, my name is Mohammed Siddique. I am the host of a Growth Hacking Show and the co-author of New Success Secrets, available on Amazon. And today I have a very unusual guest. It's not from a typical mainstream, oh, I have done this and I've done this. However, he has done so well, you have to stop every distraction and listen to him, because that's how we learn. Because if we are not listening, we are not learning anything new. And in this, on this episode, please join me to give a warm welcome to the CEO of Super Lawn Technologies. Almost 20 years, 2 decades. Okay, so that way he has like a 20 years of experience. Not only himself, he has trained other thousands of them how to do a better lawn company, how to grow their business, how to get clients and keep those clients, and always charge a fair pricing so that way you are not being ripped off. Let me tell you, if you have a home or lawn, you may want to hire someone who is trained by my guest. You know why? Because they have been trained not to overcharge you, and they have been trained how to keep doing the work better and better, so that way you don't want to hire your lawn company over and over because you're unhappy with the previous one. Why? Because they are not trained by my guest. And plus, there are some basic principles of business, how you need to run your business, any business, which is common in every way. So let's give me warm welcome. Join me to give a warm welcome to my guest, Tony Bass. And by the way, he is also from Georgia, and I'm from Atlanta too. So that I'm sure we will meet very soon in person as well. Tony, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me here today, Mohammed. And I'm just so excited about taking part of the Growth Hacking Show today, and I'm equally excited about what you're doing for the entrepreneurial community and sharing ideas of how people can make their companies more successful.
Wonderful.
Thanks for having me.
Tony, let me start with this. Where were you? What happened? Who you were surrounded with that inspired you to get into this landscaping business?
Well, I've actually been serving the lawn and landscape industry now for just over 30 years. I had founded a lawn and landscaping company after graduating from the University of Georgia. I got a degree in agricultural mechanization, and with no experience whatsoever in landscaping or in business, I founded this small lawn service company. And, with the grit of an entrepreneur, went to work hard, working in the business every day, providing services to those who would hire me. And frankly, the first few years were quite a struggle to survive, as it is for many business owners. But after changing my focus from being a technician, working inside my business and actually doing the hands-on work of landscaping, I made a conscious choice to begin to work on the landscaping business to make it a better business. And I traced that back to reading one book that changed the way I would think about my company. It was called The E-Myth, Why Most Small Businesses Don't Work and What to Do About It. L.E.G Gilbert wrote that book, and he actually wrote the first version of that book way back in 1986, so decades ago now. But my decision to make the transition from being a technician to being the entrepreneur that was actually more valuable work resulted in me growing that lawn service business to a top 5% company in the entire lawn and landscape industry. And some of the operational improvements that I was able to make in that company led to patented products or inventions that we then turned into other companies, such as our truck body and loading ramp systems that my manufacturing company today provides to the lawn and landscape industry. And I I sold the lawn and landscape business, Muhammad, after 19 years and 2 weeks. I sold it when I was 41 years old. It was a 7-figure payday for my family and I, and it afforded me the chance to take another step in my entrepreneurial journey and begin teaching the principles that I had discovered while operating my lawn service business. And actually that led to me writing a book with the guy that inspired me so much, the E-Myth, Landscape Contractor, Why Most Landscape Companies Don't Work and What to Do About It, has become a must-read in the landscape industry and is even being used in some of the most prestigious universities in our country today to teach the business side of landscaping to young entrepreneurs.
Yeah, amazing. It's quite an accomplishment, and keep up the good work. Tony, man, I can see that, teaching others, landscapers, contractors to do the right thing the right way, how you have done it for 20 years. When I saw that you are also manufacturing the commercial trucks for landscaping, that's quite a uptake. How you end up in doing a kind of auto industry, even though you are really probably customizing the body for them.
Yeah.
How you end up in expanding into that area?
Mm-hmm. So in my landscaping business, one of the fundamental problems we had to fix was lowering our operational cost so that we wouldn't have to overcharge our customers because we were inefficient. And so we built a work truck and a work truck body system that allowed us to neatly organize all of our tools, lock it up inside so our tools wouldn't get stolen, create billboard advertising on the outside of the truck so we could, aggressively promote our business. But the whole thing was about staying organized and having a low-cost business model. This truck that became the warehouse on wheels led to us receiving now 3 U.S. patents for the technology that we had invented, namely loading ramps and how loading ramps function to load lawnmowers into box trucks, large commercial trucks. And, just like every other business, Muhammad, we were out there working in the yards and we were doing our thing. And then other contractors started to come up and say, "Hey, Tony, where do you get these trucks at?" And we were building them in Dad's backyard garage. And so we were doing something that other contractors weren't doing. And so it's actually led to the birth of an entire industry now. We're still the only company in America that spends 100% of their time, energy, and effort designing and building specialty work trucks for lawn and lawn maintenance contractors. And we're very proud of that. And we invest all of our time, energy, and effort in focusing on that little niche of serving professional lawn and landscape contractors. But we do it all over the United States.
Wonderful. Wow, what a way to create more jobs, So based on your 3 decades of experience, we want to know your top 3 missteps to avoid when someone can say, "Oh, yeah, what? I don't want to do this one. We want to learn from Tony's mistakes." So,
well, I'm a good one to learn from because I've made a lot of mistakes. I'll promise you that over 30 years. But here's something that I think is extremely important to remind entrepreneurs, regardless of their age or regardless of the size of the company they operate, regardless of the geographical area they work in, or regardless of the industry. And it goes like this: the only thing worse than having no business is to have poorly priced work. You see, our research in working with landscape contractors now for over 20 years show that many contractors establish prices by copying their competitors' prices.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, this results in very low profits. In fact, I call it painfully low profits, because the average net profit of a lawn and landscaping contracting company today in the United States is a pitiful 2.3% net.
What?
And yeah, that's right. That's right. So copying your competitor's pricing model is just a bad business practice. And prices should be established, Muhammad, based on cost-based accounting, where you first understand what it costs you to operate your business. And then you've got to mark those costs up to make sure you're profitable. Look, many of the guys I work with are hardworking guys. They love to get out there and get it done. And they don't enjoy sitting down and putting, pencil to paper and figuring out their costs. So that's a big area of mistakes. And I believe that it exists in a whole lot more than just the lawn and landscape industry, Muhammad.
Wonderful. Okay, that's a fun. No competitor. That's the first mistake. So what are the other two?
Well, yeah, as a practicing entrepreneur, I can tell you with 100% certainty, and as the co-author of the E-Myth Landscape Contractor, that your company's policies, plans, and procedures must be put into writing. Look, written policies, plans, and procedures is the only way you will ever kind of remove yourself from being a technician and moving yourself towards being a CEO. And CEO, in my definition, is the chief entrepreneurial officer of your company, the person who's trying to make things better in the business, not the person who's trying to solve the latest crisis that's in your business, the one who's trying to think about it to make it better.
Cool. Very good. The third one.
Okay. So the third misstep is something I think it applies to every person. It's not just business owners, but it's often talked about, but and I believe you'll agree with what I'm about to say, but many will fail at this, even though they agree with what I'm about to say. And it's that you really must have specific goals that can be measured whenever you're going about your business. For example, this past weekend, we had a mastermind meeting. We were in Atlanta, by the way, over by the airport, Muhammad, and we hold these events several times each year. Prior to me bringing in a group of contractors, we asked them a series of questions. One of those questions is are you satisfied with your current income? And they're to answer yes or no. And then we say, well, if you're not satisfied with your current income, what do you want your income to be? And many of them, in fact, about half of them will say things like more, or I'm not sure. And more and not sure are almost impossible to measure. But about half of our students will put down specific numbers, $75,000 a year, $100,000 a year, $150,000 a year, or whatever may be appropriate for their hopes and dreams and family. And those who have specific income goals, well, they're able to build a pricing plan that will reach those goals. And so it starts back where we started. If you price right, then you're not going to be doomed as a business owner. You price right, you can have profits for yourself and the ability to properly care for your customers. And then if you put policies and plans and procedures into writing, well, then you're going to be better prepared to grow when you add people. And then third, when you're adding people, part of that written policy, plan, and procedure is to have a measurable goal for that person.
Very well said. Thank you so much. Now we don't have to do those mistakes. Especially the second one is working. If you have not written, you're not working in the business yourself. So that means you are not working on your business.
That's
I have
right.
done that many times, that mistake myself. So
we all have. I like to say we should always be working on it while we're working in it.
Yeah,
so we got to be thinking about that. How would I get someone else to do this job? And so putting it into writing is where it starts.
Cool. Now we covered the top 3 missteps to avoid. Let's switch the side of the table. So what are your top 3 success secrets for your growth, so that other people who are watching this, they can model it for their business?
Well, the number one success secret is to simply ask for feedback from your paying customers. And when your existing customers give you feedback, you're supposed to take copious notes and then make adjustments to your business practices. The details, Muhammad, about how people feel about their experience working with your company is the key to you building long-term relationships, so people will give you money over and over and over again. Look, I'm a pretty simple guy. I don't have a lot of really elaborate ideas. I've had a few good ones, but one of the things that that I know that I learned in my first multi-million-dollar business was that we had to get feedback from our customers to become a better contractor. And so anyone could do this. If you have a billing process in your company, consider doing something like this. When you send someone an invoice, send them a return envelope to make it easier for them to pay you. But not just any old envelope will do. I'm going to put this really close to the camera so you can see.
Yeah,
But you'll
I am
see there's a
pleased with my service.
survey.
I'm not pleased with my service. Call me, please call me about a special project. Okay, got it.
Yeah. And so this idea of asking for feedback right when somebody pays their bill
Yeah.
is a great way to get people to share information with you. And so if somebody says, I'm happy with the service, I'm pleased with the services, well, then you've got a tool to share with your employees to keep them motivated and to keep morale up here. And then if someone says, I'm not pleased with your service, well, now you know instantly where to go to keep people happy, to go solve that problem and simultaneously begin to work on enhancing your company's training systems so that your employees can fix those problems. And then the third part of this methodology, which I'm demonstrating here in a real simple envelope, is that we are constantly asking our best customers for more work, for the opportunity to serve them in other ways. And so that is a success secret that'll last for a lifetime if you follow it.
Wonderful, wonderful. So ask for a feedback from paying customers and ask for the opportunity to improve. And if they're happy, then and ask for more work automatically, because right at the time of when they're ready to write you a check, because that tells the real barometer how they feel about you anyway. Wonderful. That's good. That's the first success secret. We want two more, Tony.
Well, if you have more happy customers, Muhammad, then you're going to have many more word of mouth or referral type marketing coming your way.
Yeah.
And just about every business owner I've ever talked to talks about the importance of word of mouth or referrals. But there's a distinct difference. Word of mouth it's kind of a passive, reactionary way to go about getting new business. But referral-based marketing can be very active and very specific. And so, but all of the referral-based marketing starts with happy customers. And so it's your job to not only ask for the amount of success or the amount of pleasure they have working with your company, but then you've got to remind your customers that they owe you referrals as part of keeping your business cost low.
Yeah, keeping your business cost low. You can tell them, we are able to provide you good quality services with very competitive pricing because we are asking for a referral. That's the only way,
That's right. Our company doesn't go out and do expensive advertising and then has to raise your price to accommodate that.
Wonderful. Amazing. The third one?
Well, the third one is really the same as the first one. It's just that today, most of us are using some type of online billing system, okay? And so we've got to understand that if we are communicating online digitally, we still have to ask for, are you pleased? Are you not pleased? If you're not pleased, what are we going to do? How are we going to respond? And then asking for more work. So those three questions, I recommend that you set up inside of an online billing system because so many companies do bill online today and have people paying digitally or with credit cards and so on. And the more feedback you collect, the more likely it is that you'll know what to do to improve your company. I believe that the feedback loop should be guiding the entrepreneur as to select the priorities of how they must improve the customer experience. And so whether you're using online tools like SurveyMonkey or your own CRM, that ability to communicate online but keep it simple is so important. I stayed in a hotel this past week. They send me a survey on my phone, Muhammad, it was after 5 minutes and almost 20 questions, I finally gave up and said, forget it. You're not going to get any more information from me. This is hard. So you got to make it easy on your customers to give you feedback.
Yeah, wonderful. You know, Tony, all these 3 success secrets, anyone can use it in their any business. It doesn't have to be landscaping business. This is like a basic principle of serving someone.
Yeah,
Right?
man, I don't teach any rocket science, man. But the fact is that whether we're watching, a sports team like the football game the other day, it's blocking and tackling, it's throwing and catching, it's the basics of business. We got to price right. We've got to build an operational model that keeps our delivery of services as efficient as possible. And then we've got to ABM, always be marketing, to make sure that we've got new business coming our way.
Wonderful. That's amazing. So, Tony, how are you growing your business right now?
Well, I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
You're like becoming a rock star online here. So that's cool. And, but no, I live online, Muhammad, probably much like you do. And I have been for many years. I think I've just hit an incorrect button there for a second.
Oh, that's fine. It's all good. Keep talking.
So we live online. I operate 11 different websites today, and each website targets a very specific problem that our target customers has.
Yeah.
And each website uses a video or multiple videos to introduce our company and the product or services that we offer as a solution to that problem. And then every website, Muhammad, offers a free download or immediate access to additional information when someone shares their name and their email address. So we list build like many effective marketers do today. And then we follow up using automation. We follow up using direct mail. We follow up with personal phone calls. And we do business all over the USA without having to be knee to knee with someone because of the online tools of today.
So you have taken a quote unquote offline business, transition into an online business. That's how you are actually teaching others to impact their business life too. So
in 1998, when I founded the Super Lawn Truck Company, I did so with the understanding, a very basic understanding of how the internet was going to change the way information could be distributed. And so I had invested about $20,000 on my first website for my lawn service business back in 1996. We were experimenting with things like putting video online back then to sell lawn services more efficiently. And so it showed me a really clear path to be able to market, like you said, a traditional offline business online. And we've been at that now for some 20 years. And so, every day we make a little progress. Yeah,
I love this. I opened your website on this one. So TonyBassConsulting.com, and the second one is superlawntoolkit.com. That's geared for those contractors, how they can actually, this is great. So, yeah. And probably the one, this is trucks. Oh my God. Now see, I can see it now.
Yeah. Yeah. So the website is, it's available to everyone who has a computer or a smartphone. And so, our marketing can be, basically delivered for free, anywhere in the world, just like yours can, Muhammad. And so it's a very important tool for our company. And we've been using and living online now for just over 20 years in this industry.
Wonderful. So, Tony, the people who are watching this right now, the Growth Hacking Show, how they can support you?
Well, if you have a friend or a family member or a business associate who owns a lawn or landscaping company, then please share my name. My name is Tony Bass. And if they do a search for me online, I'll just about guarantee you they'll find me or one of my websites pretty quickly. But I think probably the shortest distance between 2 points today, and that is me and everyone else, is to get their copy or to share the copy of the E-Myth Landscape Contractor, why most landscape companies don't work and what to do about it. Michael Gilbert and I put this book together especially for the professional landscaping industry, and Michael's original book sold about 6 million copies. So it's a very popular book in the entrepreneurial community. But this one we wrote very specifically for the professional landscape contractor. And like I said earlier, it's now being used as training material for future lawn and landscape business owners, folks that are, in college training in the arts of horticulture, agriculture, and landscape design.
Yeah. Is it okay with your permission if I add something to this?
Sure. Go ahead.
I want to say, if you're watching this and you have a landscaper working on your lawn, and of course you like them, you want them to do a better job for you, more cost competitive, and deliver more quality service, and you want them to listen to you this way, the envelope, ask that landscaper to contact Tony Bass.
There you go. Yeah. I find that a lot of landscapers are not really good at communication with their customers. And that's so, true. If you find that in your experience, and I know you work with a lot of professionals, Muhammad, so I know that a lot of those guys hire professional lawn and landscape companies. And if they're not communicating with you, then simply encourage them to communicate better. And if they say, well, I'm not sure how to do that, then say, hey, go see this guy, Tony Bass, because he'll give you some tools to help you communicate, make it easy on you, the customer, make it easy on them, the business owner, help keep their costs under control, but ultimately deliver a better experience providing lawn services for you and your family.
Wonderful. Tony, just as we are almost about to wrap up. However, I just thought of 2 more questions.
Okay.
One is, as you know, running a business is like a roller coaster, up, down. Is that right?
That's true. Yes.
So what keeps you going in a down moment?
Well, I'll give you a couple of things. First, as a seasoned entrepreneur, more than 30 years I've been operating my own business. I have experienced now 4 economic down cycles where the economy, went down. I'll never forget the experiences that I learned in the very first economic down cycle, Gulf War Round 1, 1991. Muhammad, I lost 25% of my monthly revenue over a 30-day period in like lawn service contracts because of repricing the work. The businesses said, hey, we got to cut expenses. And frankly, as a young entrepreneur, I didn't know how to deal with that. And so I lost a lot of business and I had to build back up. I saw an even bigger challenge in 2008. Here's what I did to keep myself motivated. Number 1, it's called the personal financial statement. I fill it out every year and I can compare the results of the financial performance of my businesses and me personally year after year after year without having to go compare to other companies. All right. So I know if I'm making progress financially, and that's what business is about to me, making progress financially. And here's the second thing. It's about continuing to learn. If you and I were not having a meaningful conversation right now, it would be boring for anyone who might be listening. But you and I are having a conversation where people get an opportunity to learn. And so whether learning looks like watching videos on the internet, or if learning looks like listening to a podcast, or if learning looks like reading a book, whatever your preferred method of learning, never, ever stop it. Continue to learn, and you can continue to stay motivated and not become a relic of the past. Don't become an 8-track tape or a cassette tape or even a CD-ROM, which is seemingly becoming antiquated now. Stay on the cutting edge and listen and learn from those that you have respect for. Ask them for their personal financial statement and see if they're, if they are misleading you about their success or if they're really truly successful. And that'll keep you one step ahead of the competition, Muhammad.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. As a bonus, as a homeowner, like people who kind of hire landscapers, what are some tips to someone, because there are landscapers everywhere and not everyone is coming through you. Then if what are the tips on the other side of the
Okay.
table, how we should, what are the things that we should ask and kind
Sure.
of verify, and they will keep doing a good job.
I'll give you a few things. To start with, anytime you allow someone to come onto your property to provide any type of services, make certain that you get your quote, your proposal, your estimate in writing. If you do not get a quote, estimate, or proposal in writing, you have just opened yourself up for a confusing, perhaps even difficult outcome. And so written prices, proposals, and quotations are a must. Second, always ask for, if you do not receive in advance evidence of business license, and insurance is even more important. If they don't provide that up front in a quotation or in a proposal, then you must stop and ask for proof of insurance. The worst thing that could happen is that you allow a contractor to come on your property and then an accident occurs. And if you're not careful and if you've not hired a contractor with liability insurance, your homeowner's insurance could end up being responsible. And that includes damages to your home or injuries to the workers that may be on your property. And so I always strongly recommend that you check for an active insurance policy. The third thing, Muhammad, is simply to ask for references. I teach my clients that it is their responsibility to provide references when they turn in an estimate, proposal, quotation. So if they're not providing you with that information in advance without being asked, I think that the contractor's still in the earlier development stages of their business. And so you as a buyer should demonstrate to them that you care about evidence that they are a competent and capable contractor by asking for references.
Thank you so much. That was a bonus one. So thank you so much. Tony, as we are about to wrap up, what would you say as a final word?
Well, Muhammad, I appreciate you and your effort here having me on the Growth Hacking Show today. I certainly believe that your continued outreach to the entrepreneurial community is wonderful. I think it's appropriate. I think it's needed. Like you said a moment ago, what keeps you motivated? Well, continuing to learn is a big part of that. And you having this show today is a great tool for those who are out there trying to make their part of their world a little bit better. So thank you, Muhammad, for having me here on Growth Hacking, and I look forward to seeing you again real soon, man.
Thank you so much, Tony Bass, for sharing your wisdom with us today on the behalf of Growth Hacking Show and our entire team. We really appreciate you. This is Mohammed Siddique signing off from Atlanta, Georgia, wishing you good luck, good sales, and I do hope our path cross again with another amazing guest. Until then, all best wishes.